Hello everyone, my name is Srinivas, Assistant Professor of Physics, NG College, Nalgonda. So in the previous session we have covered few topics under the chapter of central forces. Actually, what is central force? Let us see once again. Central force. What is central force? We know that if the force is either directed towards or directed away from a fixed point and its magnitude depends on the radius vector, such forces are called central forces. See, if the force is either directed towards or away, towards or directed away from a fixed point and its magnitude depends on the radius vector such forces are called central forces. Okay, already I have seen the equation for central force is what? F bar equal to f of r, its magnitude and its radius vector, f of r dot r cap. Okay, so now already have seen example for central forces are, one is gravitational force and the second one is electrostatic force and the third one is what is that? Elastic force. Already have seen what is gravitational force, where the gravitational force is a force which acting between the two bodies in the universe, whatever it is. Let us see first one, gravitational force. It is the force which acting between any two bodies in the universe, whether it is on the earth or in the universe. It is may between the two planets, or it may be between the two objects on earth which lies on the earth. Okay, so let us assume mass of one body is capital M and mass of another body is small m. The distance between them is small r. Now the gravitational force acting between the two bodies can be written as F is directly proportional to small m and capital M. That means the gravitational force acting between these two particles is directly proportional to product of two masses. F is directly proportional to capital M into small m. And also we know that F is inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. So that can be written as F is inversely proportional to r square. From these two equations, we'll write F is directly proportional to capital M small m by r square. If you remove the proportionality constant, we'll get some constant, that is capital G capital M small m by r square, where capital G is called universal gravitational constant. In the vector form, we'll write this one as F bar is equal capital G capital M small m by r square into r cap. So what is capital G? Universal gravitational constant. The value of this one is 6.67 into 10 to the power of minus 11 Newton meter square by kg square. So this is the gravitational force. So it is long range force, weak force, it is always attractive force. And again let us see the next one is electrostatic force. Electrostatic force. See, electrostatic force which acts between the charged particles, that may be two protons and two electrons, and electrons and protons. Let us assume initially two charges. So I am not taking if they are positive or negative, just I am taking two charges q1 and q2 separated by r distance. Okay, now the force acting between the two charges, electrostatic force is nothing but Coulomb force. Now the Coulomb force acting between these two charges is directly proportional to the two charges q1 and q2, and which is inversely proportional to distance square of the distance between them. So that can be written as 1 by r square. From these two equations, what we get? F is directly proportional to q1 q2 by r square. If you remove the proportionality constant, we'll get proportionality will get constant k into q1 q2 by r square. Now the k value can be written as F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square. This is the force acting between the two charges. If the charges are like particles, they repel each other. If the charges are unlike particles, they attract each other. The vector form of this equation can be written as F bar is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square into r cap. That is the vector form of Coulomb's law. And what about epsilon naught? Epsilon naught is permittivity. It can be written as 8.85 into 10 to the power of minus 12 here Coulomb square by Newton meter square. Coulomb square by Newton meter square. The value of constant 1 by 4 pi epsilon is 9 into 10 to the power of 9. Okay, so this is all about electrostatic force. And again we have one more thing is there, elastic forces, and third one is elastic force. So that force can be written as, we know that the elastic force acting on the mass attached to the spring is proportional to the distance of mass from the unstructured position to spring. See, in that case, third one is elastic force. Elastic force already have covered in the last class. Elastic forces, so where F is directly proportional to x. What is x? Here x is the stretched position of the spring, and if we remove the proportionality, we will get F equal to minus kx, where k is called spring's constant. Spring constant. So we covered this up to here, and also have the characteristics of central forces. If you see characteristics of central forces. Let us see characteristics of central forces. So we know that conservation nature of central force. Central forces are conservative in nature. See there, we have to prove that central forces are conservative. Central forces are conservative. We know that what is conservative force? If the force depends only on the positions, not on the paths work done by the force. Okay, then such forces are called conservative forces. According to central force, we know that F bar equal to F of r into r bar. F of r into r cap. F bar is equal to half of r into r cap. That is what central force. Now let us take curl on both sides. We'll get del cross F bar, that is equal to del cross F of r dot r cap. F of r dot r cap. Okay, F of r dot r cap. Now, so we have one formula, del cross pi a bar can be written as here del pi cross a bar plus pi into del bar cross a bar. Okay, so applying this law, what we get here, we'll get del cross F of r del pi cross a bar. Here you will get del F of r cross a bar. Okay, here it is what here del bar cross pi a bar. Applying this law, we'll get del f of r cross a bar plus pi into, sorry, here it is, let us apply formula, we'll get del f of r cross r cap and plus f of r into del bar cross r cap. Okay, this is the formula. But we know that del f of r can also be written as f dash r by r into r cap. Substitute in above equation. So what we get there finally, if you substitute in above equation, del there is no del, f dash r by r into r cap cross r cap and plus and f of r into del bar cross r cap. The value of this one is 0 because cross product of two unit vectors will equal to 0. So then what happened here, we'll get del bar cross pi a bar will equal to, sorry, here it is, del cross f bar is equal to 0. So from this equation we'll say that curl of a vector is equal to 0, then that vector is irrotational and conservative. Therefore here force is conservative. Here central force is irrotational and conservative force. Okay, so let us see one more topic here. So what is that? We have to prove that angular momentum is conserved. We have to prove that angular momentum is conserved. Angular momentum is conserved. That means we have to prove that L is conserved. L is conserved. Okay, we have to prove that L is conserved. Okay, let us see how can we prove. We know that tau is equal to r cross f, the force acting on rotating bodies. A body is rotating about an axis, the torque acting on it is given by, torque acting on the rotating body is given by tau bar is equal to r bar cross f bar, r bar cross f bar. But we know that what is central force? Central force can be written as f bar is equal to small f of r into r cap, right? So again r bar can also be written as position vector, that can be written as r into r cap. Okay, substitute these two equations in above one, then what we get, tau core equal to, this can also be written as rate of change of angular momentum dl by dt, that equal to, substitute all two values in above equation, what we get here, so r into r cap plus f value can be written as f of r into r cap, right? So r and f of r both are constant term right outside, and we have r cap cross r cap, so that will equal to 0. Then finally what happened, del by dt equals 0. From this one we get that L is constant. So L is remains constant. See there, according to this, therefore a particle rotating about an axis, due to the central force, the angular momentum is constant both in direction and dimension. This is called conservation of angular momentum. Okay, this is called conservation of angular momentum. Now we are going to see another topic, force. Central force is equal to negative gradient of potential energy. Now our topic is central forces are equal to central force is equal to negative gradient of potential energy. potential energy. Now, the central force is equal to negative gradient of potential energy. Now, we are going to see these topics. We know that what is potential energy? The energy which possessed by body by virtue of its position is called potential energy. Now, we all know that when the body is on the earth, when the body is on the earth, for example, when the body is on the earth, the potential energy of this body is zero. Potential energy of this body is zero. But as this body is moving above the earth, that means if it is some height from the ground, what happened? It has potential energy equal to mgh. That means what happened when the body is moving away from the earth, whose potential energy is increasing. So therefore, there is a relation between potential energy, how it varies. Okay, now the potential energy function due to the central force field. Potential energy function due to the central force field. The change in potential energy can be written as du equal to dou u by dou x into dx plus dou u by dou y into dy plus dou u by dou z into dz. Okay, the change in potential energy in the central force field. Okay, see there, how can we write this? This can also be written as, this equation can also be written as du equal to, I'm going to write this one as I cap dou u by dou x plus j cap dou u by dou y plus k cap dou u by dou z into, here I am writing I cap dx plus j cap dy plus k cap dz. Okay, so again see here if F bar is central force, if F bar is the central force, the work done against central force, against central force is, if F bar is a central force, the work done against central force is equal to the change in potential energy. F bar is the central force, the work done against central force is equal to the change in potential energy. Then F can be written as F is equal to minus, du, potential energy, du equal to minus F dot dr. Okay, so comparing about two equations, what we get here? So F equal to, will get F bar equal to minus I cap dou u by dou x plus j cap dou u by dou y plus k cap dou u by dou z. Okay, so here in this case I am writing this one as F bar equal to minus I dou by dou x plus j dou by dou y plus k cap dou by dou z into u. This can also be written as F bar is equal to minus del u. This is our required function. What we are talking about, central force is equal to negative gradient of potential energy. F bar is equal to minus grad u. Okay, negative gradient of potential energy. So this is our required function where the central force is equal to negative gradient of potential energy, negative gradient of potential energy. Okay, next. So one more important topic we are going to see, that is acceleration of a particle under central force is force in polar coordinates. Let us see that one. Acceleration of a particle under central force in polar coordinates. Now, let us consider a particle whose mass is m in xy plane, which is under the action of central force. X axis, y, and here is 0, the angle between them theta. Here I am assuming OP. Okay, this is what direction of force. Okay, now this is theta cap, polar coordinates. Here I am taking, this is point P, this mass is small m mass, and here I am taking T. Here to here distance is small r, radius, okay, or theta. Now see, I'm assuming a particle in the xy plane whose mass is small m, and influence of central force always directed towards a fixed point O. The particle is moving in xy plane, it is shown in figure. Let r comma theta are polar coordinates. What I am assuming here, r and theta are polar coordinates. According to the Cartesian coordinates, we know that according to Cartesian coordinates xy axis, the radius vector can be written as r bar equal to OP bar equal to x I cap plus y j cap, right? X I cap plus y j cap. Now see, according to the position vector in polar coordinates, how can we write the position vector in polar coordinates? Already have seen the position vector in polar coordinates can be written as r bar equal to r dot r cap. Okay, r bar is equal to r dot r cap. Now assuming this is equation 1 and this is considered 2. Now from these two equations, the relation between polar coordinates and Cartesian coordinates, Cartesian coordinates can be written as in the form of transformation equation. That is what transformation equation, r cap theta cap in the form of matrix. So that is equal to cos theta sin theta minus sin theta cos theta, so into I cap j cap. Okay, r cap theta cap equal to cos theta sin theta minus sin theta cos theta I cap j cap. Now let us separate the terms. What we get? So r cap is equal to cos theta I cap plus sin theta j cap, and theta cap equal to minus sin theta I cap plus cos theta j cap. So we got the two equations. Assume this is equation number 3 and 4. Now differentiate equation 3 with respect to t. What we get here? Differentiate equation 3 with respect to t, dr cap by dt equal to, so differentiation of cos theta with respect to t, what we get? Minus sin theta into theta dot I cap, right, plus theta dot nothing but d theta by dt, right. Differentiation of sin theta is what? Cos theta into theta dot j cap, and so here you have to take theta dot common. So what we get? dr cap by dt is nothing but what? This can also be written as r cap dot. So let us take theta dot common. What I get? Minus sin theta I cap plus cos theta j cap. This can also be written as theta dot theta. So here we'll get r cap dot equal to theta dot theta. Assume this is equation number 5. Now differentiate equation number 4 with respect to t. Differentiate with equation number 4 with respect to t. See here what we get. Equation number 4, differentiating equation number 4, d theta cap by dt equal to differentiation of sin theta cos theta minus here cos theta dot I cap, and differentiation of cos theta minus sin theta minus sin theta dot j cap. So this can be written as theta cap dot equal to, and minus taking common will get cos theta I cap plus sin theta j cap, so that equal into theta dot. Okay, what about this one? Represents theta cap dot is equal to, so minus r cap dot theta dot. Okay, assume this is equation number 6. So we got here equation number 5 and equation number 6. So we got two equations. Again, the velocity of particle in polar coordinates. See there, how can we write velocity of particle? So here velocity of particle v bar can be written as dr by dt. dr bar by dt. So r bar can be written as, according to polar coordinates position vector, can be written as d by dt into here only r and r cap, right, r and r cap. Differentiating this one, what we get here? dr by dt into r cap, right. So plus r into dr cap by dt. Okay, so finally what we get here? This can also be written as r dot r cap, r dot into r cap, plus here r into dr cap by dt. Where is dr cap by d theta? This is what the value of this one is here. So that can be written as r into theta dot into theta from equation 5. Okay, so v bar equal to r dot r cap plus r theta dot, here we have theta dot and here we have theta cap, right, theta cap. Here it is theta cap theta cap. Okay, so we got this one. This is the velocity of particle under the central force. So here particle possesses two types of velocities. One is radial velocity along the radius direction, radial velocity along the radius direction. Radial velocity equal to Vr bar equal to, we know that, dr bar by dt. And the transverse velocity can be written as V bar t equal to, this term represents r theta dot theta cap. Okay, theta cap. So this is what transverse velocity, this is what radial velocity. But what is our aim? Our aim is we are going to find out acceleration. So acceleration of a particle under the influence of central forces. See there, how can we write? We know that acceleration can be written as rate of change of velocity. Acceleration A bar is equal to dV bar by dt. Right? So what is V bar? Here we write, here it is V bar, then d by dt, then d by dt into r dot r cap plus r theta dot theta cap. Now differentiate this one with respect to t. What we get here? See, what we get, differentiating r double dot, will get r cap and plus r dot and r cap dot and plus, here will get a dr by dt into theta dot theta cap plus r into, here will get a theta double dot t cap plus r into theta dot into, here will get a theta cap dot. Okay, so let us substitute equation 5 and 6 in this equation. So finally what we get here, A bar equal to, so here which remains same, r double dot r cap same, and substitute this value from equation number 5. From equation number 5 substitute r cap dot value. So what we get here, if you substitute r dot remains same, and this value is what, here we'll get r cap dot value theta dot theta cap. Okay, theta dot theta cap will get, and plus here you have to substitute theta, this can be written as r dot, and here it is theta dot and a theta cap which remains same, plus, so what we get here, will get, here you have to substitute here we have to substitute r theta dot, so here we'll write r theta double dot theta cap which remains same. And what about here, in this case we have to substitute theta cap dot, already we got there from equation 6, from equation number 6. So these two terms same, r theta dot. What about the theta cap dot? So minus r cap theta dot. So finally we'll get A bar equal to r double dot r cap plus r dot into theta dot theta cap plus r dot theta dot theta cap minus, here you have to write r theta dot square into r cap plus r theta double dot theta cap. So we got this equation. Assume this is equation number this is what, 7, 8, this is 9, this is equation number 10. Okay, so now, so from this equation we'll take few adjustments. A bar equal to r double dot minus theta dot square into r, okay, into r cap plus we have to write r theta double dot. Here this one same, we'll get plus 2 into r dot theta dot into theta cap. This is equation number 11. This is our required equation, acceleration of particle under the influence of central force, Now this equation can also be written as a bar equal to ar r cap plus a theta cap. Okay, so from above equation the values of radial acceleration, transverse accelerations are obtained. Therefore, radial acceleration along the radius vector, radial acceleration ar can be written as r double dot minus theta dot square into r. Okay, so this is what radial acceleration along the radius vector. And so transverse acceleration can be written as here a theta, so that can be written as r double theta double dot plus 2 r dot theta dot. This is what transverse acceleration. This is equation number 12 and this is what 13. So acceleration along the tangential direction of which is normal to the radius vector called transverse acceleration. Okay, so these are the accelerations of particle under the influence of central force. It possesses two types of accelerations. One is radial acceleration, another one is transverse acceleration. So this is the end of the topic, and in the next class we'll cover few more topics under this chapter. Let us wait and see. Thank you very much.